wetlands has been my access point to think about the landscape of the past and what we lost. My name is Kiyomi Fukui Nannery. I've been working as an artist, an educator. Started making art like pretty much my whole life, I think. It's been a long time. I think I was always a drawer as a kid. There were meandering kind of path, trying to find a creative outlet all my life. And then college, I think, is when I decided like, okay, I want to be an artist. Okay, right here? Yeah, push. There's, okay. Thank you. Yarning is maybe one word that I connect with. I yearn for the connection. I yearn for the healing and all these things. I started making a lot of works like this. The pivotal point, I think, was when I lost my mother. So I had this like immense grieving moment, and I made a lot of artwork about it. And I think art as a healing process, art as a therapy, really, that's kind of what got me into the idea of embracing loss, embracing grief, embracing all these difficult emotions that we feel as humans, but it's also universal because everybody's gonna lose somebody they love. You're gonna lose yourself, at some point. So how do we deal with the impermanence, the difficult things?
Hi, my name is Michael Nannery. I'm an artist. I'm also, a gardener, a composter. I also teach too. Educationally, I got my experience in printmaking, earning a Bachelor of Fine Arts and a Master of Fine Arts. Crushed gravel, but also the very porous kind of clay. It allows bacteria to colonize on it. And basically bacteria is what transforms the fish waste into usable fertilizer for the plants. So it kind of follows the nitrogen cycle. Look, there's a slug in here. I don't want the slug. That would be bad. It'll eat all of the leaves. Inspiration for this piece kind of came from a few different places, kind of merging together. Like I wish I could say like, oh, I just woke up and had a vision and did it. But no, it wasn't like that at all. I think it was multiple sort of visions, sort of commingling and coming together. And then also, the collaboration of working with the curator, Adam Savalik. So I often like to work in a site-specific way that is really like collaborative with the people and the space that I'm working with. I like to really be considerate of like who is there, who's taking care of the work, what's the community like, who's experiencing the work. Working!
It is working.
Thank God. There are fish living in there. There are fathead minnows. And then there are also snails, which are ram's horn snails living in there. And essentially their waste through breathing and also eating and pooping, that essentially is pumped up through the water into the grow bed up top. And essentially that allows the plants to be fertilized and to grow to their fullest potential. So to me, that kind of connection between animals and plants with the water being the vehicle for doing so and the light allowing for growth, that is like a really fun and important idea and something that, we as people in culture need to remember that, this exists out there. And here I've created a very artificial scenario where it's essentially just a barrel circulating water with a light shining on it. But, if we can kind of see, the magic and the life in that, we should be able to go outdoors and see the magic and the life all around us.
It's called Ghosts of the Marsh, and it's a mixed media art. It is just a combination of drawing, painting, printmaking, collage, all of that together. And yeah, it's based on the idea of imaginary landscape, basically a marsh, a wetlands. I picked that because for, like the last century or so, we've been losing so much of our wetlands in California specifically. In that imaginary landscape, I tried to feature 2 extinct species. One is sunflower, Los Angeles sunflower, and the other one is cinquefoil. It was kind of interesting to try to compose an image, trace the idea of ghosts, I guess, and like what might have looked like. And yeah, the only way to access it now is to imagine, right? So imagine the landscape, I thought, just kind of goes really well together with my idea. I hope that other people, the viewers, when they look at it, they get a similar sort of feeling that I do. I think this is the type of work that there's multiple levels of read. Like on the surface level, maybe it's just a pretty picture of pretty flowers. And it's fine if you have like 3 seconds, right? And I think that's the quick read. But if they take a little bit more time, they can start to find a little bit more in the work, hopefully. Like reading the text that is accompanying the piece, that would tell them that this is actually a portrait of lost ones, And hopefully that'll give them a little more understanding of how this image is meant to connect you to the imagined kind of landscape that is lost. So there's that. But I think it is all right that everybody has a different level of read and different level of appreciation of the work. I think if it is that, oh, it's a pretty picture of pretty flowers, that's all right too.
This installation, it's almost a little bit of a temple. There's this canvas structure that goes around the work as well. And that helps create like that sort of moment for the viewer, for them to be up close and personal with the work and to have like a very engaged experience with it. So trying to lean into that phenomenological aspect of being in the bright light, hearing the water flow, feeling the moisture from the system, activating these senses and thinking about what it means to sort of deconstruct this idea of a river. And maybe we realize the value and importance of it as it is, when we start to think about it in a more broken down way. So Kiyomi and I have kind of like a little project that we call Peace Lily Press and Microfarm, which we have supported other artists by exhibiting their work and hosting them for artist in residence projects. We've also printed and published the work of other artists as well, both in traditional hand printed methods and then also digital methods as well. And then also just kind of done whatever we can in our own home gardening, composting efforts, and whatever we can offer to our local community. So, my hope is just to continue doing all or as many of those things as I possibly can for as long as I can.